Hey internet! Today I wanted to show you all my travel planner goodies that I took with me when I went on my most recent trip. This is actually the first time I've traveled whilst interested in planning, so it was a first for me. I'd watched quite a few videos, but at the end of the day, I don't think a video can really teach you what you should be bringing because everybody plans differently. So you know what you want to bring, but I think some videos can kind of give you ideas on how to pack more efficiently or that sort of thing. So I thought I would share it anyways, and also a few lessons learnt, things I wish I did differently, that sort of thing. So I thought I would first show you each of the planners I brought. I brought 3 planners, which in retrospect does seem excessive, but there was a reason for all of them, and I'm not sure if I'd still bring all 3 in the future, but we will see. So of course I brought my Erin Condren planner, and you guys saw the initial plan with me I did when the trip first started, but this is the end result. If you follow me on Instagram, then you've already seen this. So basically this is the finished product. As I mentioned in the last, because I had 2 plan with me videos for the trip. I have the little headers of which country or slash city I was in, at the flag for the country I was in, just so at a glance you can kind of see the progress, which I actually really like that. So I think I'm going to do that for my next trip. And then the part that I'm still not 100% sure on was all the little icons. So basically I just blocked out all the headers and just had a massive columns of white space, and I basically just put down what we did. So I have a lot of the sites I saw in Beijing, other things we did. I will say, because some of the sites were so unique, that if I didn't find a sticker, these were clip ups I downloaded, but if I couldn't find anything that really represented it, I ended up just watercoloring in. I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit more. Hopefully you'll be able to see, but you can see here Summer Palace. I didn't have anything, so I just watercolored. I'm not the best watercolorer or painter or artist out there, so I just made do with what I could, but I had lanterns. We went to a jade factory, so I just painted those in. So it just feels a little bit more like it has some context. And I was also very obsessed with monitoring my steps and just little to-dos that I had to do for that day, like confirming tours and that sort of thing, or messaging home, which I did every day. So that was the first half week of the trip, and then the following week was the rest of the trip, and as you can see the progress from China into Taiwan and all the things that we did. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a huge artist, but I really like the skyline for Shanghai. I obviously just looked at some pictures online and just sketched it out and then watercolored it in. Same with the water village we visited. I really like that, and I think I might try this a little bit more, how it's kind of like it takes up the whole thing. Like it's not like an icon like this, but how, I don't know, I'm not explaining it very well, but I think you understand what I mean, where maybe if I could just saturate the entire column with blends of drawings and stuff of what we were doing, I think that would be really cool. And yeah, so that was pretty much the whole trip, and then we flew back and I felt really sick, but I'm actually a lot better now. So that was the Erin Condren planner that I decided to bring because I wanted to document everything, and I've just been in this planner for probably a good 5 months now, and as weird as it sounds, I feel strange going somewhere for extended periods or not having it with me to just write and digest the day in. I kind of feel like that's what I use this journal more for than anything else. Less about actually using it as a real planner, but almost like documenting what's happening in my life, and it's just like a happy place. So yeah, that was the Erin Condren. So the next journal I took with me is actually this insert. It's a Midori insert. I actually did take my Midori planner with me, but right now I'm using it as a day-to-day planner, so I won't show you that. Not travel related, but this was the main insert that I had with me. It's a limited edition Midori. They release one every year, so this was 2015's. Thought it'd be a really great way to document the trip, and I'm using this now to just document all the trips I'm taking in 2015 and probably 2016, because there's quite a few pages and I'm not going to be able to finish it all this year. So it's kind of like my unofficial or official travel journal. And the way this differs from the Erin Condren for me is that I am sticking memorabilia from the trip. So like those ticket stubs or receipts or anything like that, if it looks pretty and I like it, I just stick it right into the journal. And then I include little photos that I've been snapping throughout the trip. But these are just some photos that I took with my iPhone, and then I printed them out on this device here, this Polaroid, which I will get into in a little bit. But basically, yeah, it's just kind of like a collection of memories for the day. So each page is a day, and then I just write down the events of what happened and things that were important to me. You see train ticket stubs, just really anything. So this is more just like maybe a keepsake journal. It feels like I'm on the trip again when I look through all this. Plus, we also vlogged the trip, which will be up on a different YouTube channel, and I'll be sure to link that down at some point, but don't expect it anytime soon. We're still working through a few branding things, but it's basically a channel that myself and Toby are sharing. So yeah, so that was the second journal. Third journal is my small Hobonichi Techo planner. This is the A6 size. I use the A5 as a planner, so this one is just more for, again, documenting stuff, but it's actually more kind of a watercolor book. So I'll show you some, and I'm just kind of nervous because I'm not a great artist. I'm actually quite terrible, and so this is really just more for me to record the days. But basically the idea, and I actually have done a really bad job at not recording everything, but say this is just an example of one of the pages. I'll write every day, which I haven't been doing this every day, so there's a lot of blank spaces, but that just means that when I have time, I like to do a couple days at a time to try and catch up, so that hopefully the whole day is kind of like a diary of the year. But I write a little blurb on something major that happened in the day, or just like kind of the key parts of the day. And this is really more from an emotional perspective as opposed to a planning perspective. And in this particular day, this was the 20th of June. We went out for lunch to celebrate Sephi's birthday, so we had Japanese, so that's why you can see some very poorly drawn sushi. And then on this day, we went to my friend Emily's house to have a deck warming because she just finished building a deck. So another poor attempt at trying to draw a deck. But as you can see, I'm just a little nervous because I know my drawing's not so great. So I took this just to draw as we were traveling. So there was sunsets. We went to see the Temple of Heaven. So out of all the sites in Beijing that day, because we saw like Forbidden City and a lot of other places, this was probably the most iconic, which is why I decided to draw it. And then we did the Great Wall. Anyways, so yeah, this is why I brought the Hobonichi, and you can see I haven't colored it in. I at least try to write down what I did that day so I can remember, and I can just draw it in my own time. And this is just kind of like some rough sketches of what I'd been doing that day. So that's why I brought this journal, to try and record it, because I do find, even though I'm not very good at watercoloring, I actually really enjoy it. It is extremely therapeutic, and I've just found lately I'm looking for things to just like calm down at the end of the day, because my day job tends to be very stressful and just a lot of other things. So this is just a really good way of me to just unwind. And yeah, I think anything that makes you happier is totally worth doing, especially if it's as harmless as this. So that's what my Hobonichi Techo is for. I really hope that I can finish the entire year and just have it filled with watercolor pictures. I would love to do that. So that's definitely one of my goals. So those were the 3 journals I took with me. Now to show you some of the items I took with me to accompany those. This is a little tiny baby travel one, which I just jam-packed with tons and tons of stickers from all sorts of different companies, so that I could use this to decorate on the go. So as you saw that in my Erin Condren and my Hobonichi were probably the most accurate in terms of journaling as I went along. And I don't use stickers for my Hobonichi, but I did use them for my Erin Condren and Midori, so I did find this really useful, and it is quite small. It's not that big, so it holds a ton of stickers, like lots and lots of sheets. So I love this, and I'm definitely going to bring this again when I travel. I just think it's such a good idea. The other thing that you saw before is this Polaroid printer. This is such a good idea. I saw this probably early in the year when Polaroid first released it, because I have a bit of a camera addiction if you follow my other channels, so you'll know that I just love buying cameras and printers, and I'm just a tech person. So this is great because basically all you need to do is take a picture with your iPhone, and then via Bluetooth you send it to the printer and it prints out all the photos. So pretty much all the photos you see here were printed using this. Photos is actually on glossy sticker paper, which is really great because then you don't need glue, you can just stick it straight on. If you're curious about the quality, it's definitely not like going to Officeworks or using your actual printer, because that would be way better quality, but this is actually still really good. It kind of gives a bit more of a vintagey feel to your photos. So I just thought that was so good. I mean, given that an iPhone is just this size and the printer is this, I mean, you just need this and then some paper. That's like it. this is a great travel companion. I definitely recommend getting one if you are into the habit of taking photos and wanting tangible copies of those photos to put in planners or anything like that. So yes, I love this. It's my favorite purchase. It's probably the favorite thing I've bought recently. I just love it so much. And then the other two things I brought were these. So that's pretty much everything I took with me. I'll just go through it. So this is my watercolor set. It's by Winsor and Newton. And as you can see, it is pretty well loved, but I still have a way to go. These aren't the original paints that came with the kit. I actually bought a larger kit and then just switched them out. So I've got a couple additional colors in here that you wouldn't get if you just purchased this, but quality alone, this is by far one of the best watercolor sets I have. I love how compact it is. It's just so easy to travel with, and I don't know, I just really love it. So if you're looking for watercolors, I recommend this. And finally, my pencil case. So this one is a cheap pencil case I got off eBay. I love that it is, I think it's like fake leather, it's not real leather, but I love that it is kind of that leather consistency, so it's easy to keep clean, whereas if I took a nylon cover, I feel like that would get dirty really easily. So I'm just gonna open up and show you guys what I took with me. Basically, I have a bunch of pens here. I didn't put anything here because I just didn't think it would hold very well, and then just a bunch of stuff. So I'd go through each one and I'll explain if I would keep it again or not, but basically, so this was a stamp from, I think I got this from a Reset Girl List Has Got a List kit, and it's Amy Tangerine date stamp pretty much. In retrospect, I didn't need to bring this. I brought this and some ink with me, and I didn't end up stamping at all, and in retrospect that's kind of a little bit messy, so I probably wouldn't bring these next time. I brought a glue stick to stick down all the memorabilia, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't find that I had a lot of time to be sticking stuff and journaling in this journal. I would say that most of the work about documenting everything happened when I got back, so I don't think I would need a glue stick next time. I would probably skip that. Similarly, I never used a ruler, so I probably wouldn't bring this. And this is my little whiteout roller thing, which I didn't use at all, so I would not bring this either. So as you can see, I already have emptied it out quite a bit of things that I never even used, so that was a bit of a waste of space, but you live and learn. So this was a little eraser, which I didn't end up using, but I could see why I'd need it. This is my watercolor pen from Pentel, and then a little water well, just in case I didn't have enough water, because I tend to like to paint really subtle colors, so I found that I did use these two a lot. Especially, I did most of my watercoloring on the planes when I had nothing else to do, and I didn't really want to be staring at a screen the whole time, so I found that these two were lifesavers. I would say that if you are really low on space, you can probably forego the water well, because there's already some water in the well here, and this lasts forever. I think I've had this since April this year, and I've only had to refill it once, so it lasts a really long time. Then again, I don't watercolor as excessively as some people might, but I'm just saying that for a trip, this alone would be enough. And then we have pens. So I have this pencil, which I use just to roughly sketch out designs, say in my Erin Condren or Midori, just to get a rough idea on the shape at first. So definitely recommend bringing a pencil. This is a three-point Pilot Coletto pen, which I really love these pens. I'm so addicted to these pens. I love how inky they are. I use this actually to write in my Midori planner. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell, but the ink is a little bit more saturated. But because I wasn't really doing much in Midori, I don't think I really needed this pen. So, I don't know. I mean, it is really small, so I don't think there's much harm in bringing it with you. This, of course, I use all the time. This is the pen that I use for all my planning in my Erin Condren, so I cannot live without it. And this is another inkier pen. It is by Unibin. It is water and fade proof, and it is pigment ink, and that's the most important. So I use this exclusively in my Hobonichi techo, and I use that to do the writing up here. And the reason I wanted to use this pen is that because it is waterproof. So many times, especially if I'm writing just down here and then I paint, the water is definitely going to get on the text. I mean, no avoiding that. That's just gonna happen. And if I use like the Coletto pen, this ink is going to just bleed, and that looks terrible. So this was really important, and I use this exclusively for when I plan to do watercoloring. This is amazing. So definitely would bring this because I do find myself actually journaling most in my Hobonichi when I travel. So yeah, those are all the things I brought. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some ideas. It definitely gave me some ideas on what to do next time I travel. Do let me know if you want to go into any more detail on what I've already spoke about. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day. This is Celina reporting from my room. Back to you, internet.